Fear is the greatest obstacle to the great return. Not poverty, not infrastructure, not governance. Fear. A quite conditioned fear that was planted long before most Africans ever boarded a plane. Fear that says Africa is what you escaped from. Fear that whispers that return is failure. Fear that tells the deported they have been erased from history. Long before visas, long before airports, long before immigration offices, fear was planted. Fear that Africa is chaos. Fear that success lives elsewhere. Fear that return means failure. This fear did not come from nowhere. It was taught, repeated, and normalized. Generations of Africans were educated to believe that order was imported and value was external. That dignity required distance from home. That safety required foreign systems. So we left. We left during economic collapses. We left during structural adjustments. We left when hope was packed into visas and sold as destiny. We left during wars, sanctions, and manufactured crises. And for a time, the exit seemed logical. Pay was higher, systems were organized. The future seemed predictable, but beneath the appearance was a truth rarely spoken. You were always conditional. But what was never said loud enough was this: the journey out was never meant to be permanent. But today, the world has changed. Deportation drives are expanding. Immigration laws are hardening. Permanent status is becoming temporary. For many, return is no longer a choice. It is a reality. For others, it is a voluntary choice paralyzed by fear. This episode exists to confront that fear, to dismantle it, to replace it with clarity. Because the truth is simple. Africa is not what you were taught to fear. Today, the world that once promised permanence is quietly building exit doors. Nations that once marketed themselves as land of opportunity are now rewriting the terms of belonging in small print. Residency has become a lease renewed at the pleasure of policy. Citizenship pathways narrow like roads leading into a fortress. From Europe to North America, deportation has shifted from exception to administrative routine. A silent tide carrying people back across oceans they once crossed with hope. What was called settling down is being redefined as temporary stay. Many in the diaspora now live with suitcases that exist only in the mind, invisible luggage packed with uncertainty. A traffic stop can become a document check. A policy announcement can become a departure notice. A job loss can become a visa expiration. Like trees planted in shallow soil, roots grow wide but not deep. And when the winds of policy shift, even strong winds can be uprooted. This is why the question of return is no longer philosophical. It is structural.
Strength of Africa TV presents.
We left with dreams in a suitcase sky, chasing promises money could buy, built new lives on borrowed land, roots half grown in shifting sand, visas ticking, papers thin, working hard just to fit in. But doors are closing, lines redraw. Temporary was the law. Home ain't perfect, but it's ours. Not rented. Limited time, but rooted power. We're not deported, we're prepared. Not erased, just self-aware. From borrowed ground to motherland, we rise, we build, we take our stand. The great return, heart and soul. Home is power, home is control. The great return, heart and soul. Home is power, home is control. We left.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you are at this moment. I'm your host, Adebayo Oladokun, and this is Strength of Africa TV, where truth meets courage, where the past is reawakened and the future of the motherland is reclaimed. Today's episode is titled Deported or Prepared: Why the African Diaspora Must Plan the Great Return. Let's start with why return feels terrifying and why that fear is misplaced. The greatest lie about return is that it is dangerous. Fear of return is not natural, it is learned. What is actually dangerous is permanent limbo. Fear of return is not natural, it is taught. It is taught through media that freezes Africa in crisis. It is taught through comparisons that ignore context. It is taught through stories that never show progress. The deportees fear shame. The voluntary returning fears regret. Both fears come from the same source. The idea that Africa has no space for you. But let us be clear. History shows that mass returns have always been painful but necessary. Liberia's returning population, Ghana after the 1980s, and Rwanda after 1994. Each time, the returnees were not ready, but they adapted. Every time, the returnees did not collapse the system, they rebuilt it. What people really fear is not Africa, they fear adjustment. And adjustment is temporary. Displacement is permanent. Every life worth living requires a period of discomfort. Return is no different. The modern diaspora lives under a sky filled with invisible deadlines. Every visa has an expiration date, even when it does not appear on paper. Temporary protection status expires. Work permits expire. Political climates expire. What was once looked like a straight road has become a series of checkpoints. And with each checkpoint comes the possibility of turning back. Fear of return is magnified by years of investment abroad. Years that feel like they must be defended at all costs, even when the ground is shifting. The irony is that many who fear return are already living in slow motion displacement. Communities shrink as friends are deported. Churches and mosques quietly collect farewell donations. WhatsApp groups fill with questions about immigration lawyers. The soundtrack of diaspora life now includes the language of appeals, extensions, and removal proceedings. Return is feared as a fall, yet for many, it is already a descent taking place, one policy change at a time. Now, let's have a look at safety redefined, from policing to belonging. The West says safety as surveillance, cameras, checkpoints, databases, But real safety is psychological. For Africans, this often translates into surveillance without protection. In the West, many Africans live under constant low-grade stress. Stress of status, stress of ascent, stress of being explained, and anxiety of being one policy shift away from removal. This is not safety, it is managed precarity. In Africa, systems may be uneven, but your presence is not questioned. You are not explaining your right to exist. You are not living as a guest in someone else's house. In Africa, you may face systemic challenges, but you do not face existential erasure. A police officer may ask questions, but it does not question your right to exist. This is why many returnees report something unexpected. Relief. The nervous system rests when it is no longer in enemy territory. In Africa, systems may be imperfect, but your existence is not conditional. Not because life is easy, but because it is yours. Because the body recognizes home before the mind does. Modern surveillance states function like glass houses. Everything is visible except belonging. Your movements are tracked, your taxes are recorded, your employment is documented, and your residency is registered. Yet, none of this guarantees security. Many Africans in Western countries live with the quiet knowledge that a database can become a deportation list. Digital records that once represented stability can become maps leading authorities directly to your doorstep. Real safety is not merely the absence of crime, it is the presence of acceptance. It is the ability to walk through a border control line without feeling your heart race. It is the confidence that your children will not have to explain their origin as if defending a case. Many returnees discover that the simple act of existing without scrutiny feels like breathing after years underwater. Belonging is the only security system that does not require electricity. Let's examine the practical reality: work, income, and opportunity. The most common question is always practical. How will I survive? This question is valid, but it is based on outdated image of Africa. Africa today is a continent of fragmented but real opportunity. Healthcare systems need trained staff. Private education is expanding. Logistics and transport are growing rapidly. Agriculture is modernizing. Tech and digital services are scaling. Return does not mean poverty, it means repositioning. Many returnees earn less in dollar terms, but live more sustainable lives. Cost of living shifts the equation. Ownership replaces wages. Many returnees live with less cash, but more control. This is not a downgrade, it is a restructure. The economic calculus of migration is also changing. In many Western countries, the cost of survival has been faster than wages. Rent consumes half of income. Taxes consume the rest. What remains is sent home in remittances that build houses that sender may never live in. Many diaspora workers now realize they are maintaining two economies while owning neither. They are like bridges, strong enough to carry others but never built as destinations. Meanwhile, Africa's economic landscape is shifting in quiet but significant ways. Small businesses multiply faster than statistics can record. Digital payments reach villages where banks never arrived. Land remains an asset that can never be touched, cultivated, and inherited. While foreign economies offer salaries, home offers foundations. The difference between renting life and building life becomes clear only with distance. Let's look into the diaspora advantage, why returnees are not starting from zero. The greatest myth is that returnees start from nothing. But returning Africans possess three critical advantages: system knowledge, global networks, discipline under complexity. A deportee may lose papers, but not skills. A voluntary returnee may lose salary, but not capacity. This is why returnees build businesses, schools, clinics, and platforms, because they know how systems should function. Returnees also bring a critical mindset. They have seen systems that work and systems that fail. This exposure creates a rare blend of pragmatism and imagination. They are less impressed by appearance and more focused on function. This makes them natural reformers, even without formal power. More importantly, returnees change expectations. When you have experienced efficient healthcare, accountable service, and professional standards, you begin to demand them. This quiet demand, expressed through daily practice, is how cultures shift, not through slogans, but through habits. Africa is not hostile to this knowledge, it is hungry for it. The experience of migration forges a particular kind of strength. The diaspora learns to navigate complex systems, adapt to new rules, and survive in unfamiliar territories. These skills do not disappear at the airport, they travel home with you. A returning African arrives not as a beginner, but as a systems navigator. Someone who has learned to read structures the way sailors read currents. Even deportation does not erase this advantage. Many who are forced to return discover that the very struggles they endure abroad become their strongest asset at home. Resilience is portable. Discipline is portable. Knowledge is portable. Borders can confiscate documents, but they cannot confiscate experience. And experience is often more valuable than paper. Now to the counter-arguments: the corruption epidemic, infrastructure collapse, and government inefficiency. This fear is not irrational, it is historical. Yes. Corruption exists, yes. Infrastructure is uneven, yes. Governance is fragile in places, yes. These are not imagined fears. But here's the question that is never asked. Where do you have more agency? In a foreign system where you are permanently conditional? Or in your own society where you can organize, influence, and build? Systems improve when stakeholders return, not when talent stays away. Return is not escapism, it is participation. It is also important to be honest. Return is not easy. Power structures resist change. Bureaucracy can be slow. Progress often comes in increments, not leaps. But history is clear. No society has ever improved because its most capable people stayed away. Corruption thrives in vacuums of accountability. Infrastructure decays when talent opts out. Return, even in small numbers, begins to shift that balance. Critics of return often speak as if imperfections is unique to Africa. But the global system itself is showing cracks. Housing crises expand in European cities. healthcare systems strain under demand. Social tensions rise as economies slow. Even the most organized societies are discovering that stability is not permanent. The difference is that when systems fail abroad, the African migrants face with them, without influence and without voice. Imperfect systems at home at least offer space for participation. A road can be repaired by community effort. A school can be improved by local initiative. A business can be built without waiting for permission from distant authorities. Return transforms complaint into capacity. It turns observers into actors. History is moved not by perfect conditions, but by present people. Now to the 5 doors home, Africa's most strategic destinations for the Great Return. The Great Return must be guided by strategy as much as by emotion. For returning Africans, the question is not only whether to return, but where to return to. Different countries offer different advantages in terms of economic opportunity, safety, political stability, education, healthcare, and access to land. A successful return requires careful choices because relocation is not just a movement across borders, it is the replanting of roots. The most promising destinations are those where returning Africans can build stable lives without living under the constant threat of policy changes or deportation. Although almost all African countries are returnable places because there is aura of hospitality across the motherland. But to meet the strategic needs of a returnee, these countries are above par. Number 1, Ghana. Ghana stands as one of the most natural gateways for return, offering political stability, cultural acceptance, and growing economic opportunities. Returning Africans often find a society where they can reintegrate without feeling like strangers. Number 2, Botswana. Botswana provides a different advantage: long-term stability and peaceful governance. For those seeking security and predictability, Botswana offers solid ground where life can be built without constant uncertainty or fear of disruption. Number 3, Kenya. Kenya represents opportunity and momentum. With a rapidly expanding economy and a strong technology sector that attracts entrepreneurs and professionals. Returning Africans can find space to build businesses and apply their skills in a growing market. Number 4, Mauritius. Mauritius offers a different model, a society where institutions function with organization and efficiency. Its reliable healthcare, educational systems, and modern infrastructure provide smooth transition for returning families who seek structure and predictability. Number 5, Namibia. Namibia offers something increasingly rare in the modern world: space and land. For returning Africans seeking long-term self-sufficiency, it provides opportunity for agriculture and permanent settlement. Land ownership provides a form of security that temporary residency abroad cannot match. While documents can expire and policies can change, land remains a lasting foundation upon which futures can be built. Together, these 5 countries represent different pathways for the Great Return: community in Ghana, stability in Botswana, opportunity in Kenya, structure in Mauritius, and land in Namibia. The Great Return does not lead to the destination but to many possibilities. The most important decision is to prepare and choose deliberately, because the era of permanent migration is fading and the future will favor those who return with purpose rather than those who want to be removed. The question of return is also a question of time. Many in the diaspora believe they can wait for the right moment, but history rarely sends invitation. Change arrives like weather, unannounced and unstoppable. Those who prepare move with the storm. Those who delay are swept by it. The current wave of deportations is not an isolated event. It is a signal that the era of easy migration is ending. One day, many will return not with plans but with deadlines, not with savings but with tickets, not with preparation but with orders. The difference between a dignified return and a forced return is time. Time to study, time to invest, time to connect, time to adjust the mind before the body moves. The wise prepare before history decides for them. Ask yourself, what does safety mean to me? Is it cameras or belonging? Is it papers or purpose? What am I really afraid of? Africa or the adjustments? What have I learned abroad that I'm refusing to deploy at home? Do I want to wait to be removed or return with intent? The great return is not a rush, it is a decision. Not everyone must return tomorrow, but everyone must prepare mentally. The future will not be kind to those who wait for permission. The safest future for a displaced diaspora is not abroad. The great return must not be chaotic, it must be deliberate. Return with skills, return with information, return with community. Choose cities, not just countries. Start small, build patience. Return is not a single day. It is a process of reclaiming a life. History is shifting. Borders are hardening. Borders are closing. And the diaspora must decide. Wait to be removed or return with dignity. The great return is not about going backward. It's about repositioning for the future. And the future will not be found in borrowed systems. It will be built at home. Return also demands personal honesty. It requires letting go of comparisons that no longer serve you. Life in Africa will not mirror life abroad, and it does not need to. What it offers in exchange is a sense of ownership over your time, your labor, and your legacy. This is the final invitation, not to everyone and not all at once, but to those who feel the ground shifting beneath their feet. Prepare your mind, prepare your skills, prepare your heart. The future is not waiting for permission, it is waiting for participation. The Great Return is not a movement driven by panic. It is a movement driven by clarity. It recognizes that true security is rooted in place, not paper. It understands that dignity grows strongest where belonging is unquestioned. The future will belong to those who build where they are permanent, not where they are permitted. Across airport terminals today, quiet stories are unfolding. Men and women who left as dreamers are returning as builders. Some arrive with pride, others arrive with pain, but all arrive with knowledge. And history has always shown that when a people return with knowledge, they do not return to the past. They return to create the future. The great return has begun. I'm your host, Adebayo Oladokun, and this is Strength of Africa TV. If you found value in this conversation, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, endeavor to join our membership, and give us super thanks. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Rumble. For advert placement, visit us online at Strength of Africa TV. Watch out for the next episode. You don't want to miss it. Until then, tell your own story. Because Africa's future is written in African ink. Stay rooted, stay bold, stay African. Thank you for watching and see you in the next episode. Bye.
Left with dreams in a suitcase sky, chasing promises money could buy, built new lives on borrowed land, roots have grown in shifting sand, visas ticking, papers thin, working hard just to fit in, but doors are closing, lines redraw, temporary was the law. Home ain't perfect, but it's ours. Not rented time, but rooted power. We're not deported.